Hi, I'm bored. So let's talk about Arcane. More like, let's talk about League of Legends because, like, around 4 days ago, they dropped their Welcome to Noxus cinematic, and it makes me want to have an Arcane series right now because, God, it's good. It's very good. And here you see it. This is a low res version. I just didn't care to actually, get a better screenshot for this. But Welcome to Noxus is the cinematic for the new League of Legends season. Yes, it's not a cinematic for the new Arcane series, even though I would love it to be that. But I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown before I say my 2 cents about all of the things that I saw, that I liked, and that I actually want to talk about. So, about the story of this cinematic, right? Because, by the way, this was made by Fortiche, that's why it still looks like Arcane. This is Arcane level greatness of animation. First and foremost, we have LeBlanc just surveilling everything that's happening, and she's also the narrator of the cinematic, while there's also music playing in the background, which is, like, the song is called Bite Marks, from an artist called Taya, I believe. So LeBlanc is just narrating the whole thing. This is her eye. Yeah, she's just narrating the whole thing that's happening right now. Because there are like 4 things that are happening, and this is the first one. Now, the second thing that's happening is that Mel arrives in Noxus. Now, this was teased in Arcane Season 2, which is one of the reasons why this just makes it feel like it's a teaser or a teaser trailer for a new season, even though it's not, because, this is like perfect sequel stuff. Like, they showed us that mini cliffhanger as with what's gonna happen with their story, and this is literally just continuing it. Riot, please, I want Arcane Season 3, or just Arcane Welcome to Noxus. You can call it like that. Welcome to Noxus just sounds pretty cool because we know that Mel would probably be one of the main characters, but hopefully Swain as well. So Mel arrives, has some not hallucinations, has some visions and stuff, but that's that. And yeah, my voice is dead. It's late in the evening, and I wanted to make this video. Now, the third thing that's happening at this point is Katarina. That's Katarina's back, because of the dress. Katarina is infiltrating a ball, where maybe other characters are. We don't know. It's with the whole skin line thing. And ask Connect. If you want to know, ask Connect Red. Okay, not me. But yeah, Katarina is going on a mission, trying to kill somebody, just like always. But she gets stopped by Elise. That was a very creepy scene how she came out there, but let's move on. Then we have Darius, right? We go to Darius, which was confirmed to be young Darius. So this is either a flashback or it's happening all at this, quote unquote, would be happening all at the same time. I truly don't know. I sincerely don't know. Cinematics can fool you the same way trailers can fool you, so that's why I wouldn't take everything at face value. But yeah, he is on the battlefield and he's fighting against the trolls. Yeah, I totally forgot that for a second. Yeah, he's fighting against trolls, and mainly against Trundle, because they're about to have a top lane 1v1. Let's see how that goes. And then, as an honorable mention, Vladimir's just happy to be there. Now, let's come to the part that I actually wanted to talk about, which was the character designs. Because obviously, this is Fortiche, and the same way as with Arcane, everybody was very stoked to see how Fortiche was gonna reimagine specific characters from League in their different different phases of, like, depictions into the Arcane series Netflix style. And we move on to one of the first redesigns, which is actually Mel. Now, if you're like, why is Mel a redesign? Well, there have already been like comparisons, and yes, this is actually a new design, and she does look different. I did not put her previous face on this presentation because I totally forgot, and I'm not gonna do this later on. So obviously, she now doesn't have the normal Piltoven's clothes on anymore. Like, she has this red robe and more Noxian type clothing, but you could actually see more of that armor when she was on the boat at the end of season 2. So obviously, I love her. She's a black queen. She's just beautiful. Like, she slays. Like, no matter what, this is just one of the best characters that the show Arcane brought out themselves, right? Like, she's one of my favorite characters to just exist. truthfully. But that's also where it ends, I do have to say. You'll find out it is in the future why. But let's just move on to the next and actually first League of Legends own character that got reimagined in the Fortiche art style, and that is Mr. Strength himself. I forgot what his Trifrix thing was. I think it was Strength, Guile. Yeah, Strength. I think that's what it is. Darius. Now with Darius, the thing is, first off, people realized he was not as bulky as he was in League. And for me, I will just say how it is. Even if they still change how he looks later on in the show, that hopefully will be coming in less than 2 years because I cannot wait any longer. The thing is that the physique he has in League, or let's say a lot of people also compare it with like the 2XKO physique. I don't know how like quote unquote realistic it is. I may be totally wrong, so I'm just saying some shit here. But who cares, because at the end of the day, this is young Darius. Like I said, it has already been confirmed, so he might bulk up later on. I actually like his design. It's literally just Darius how he is in League, apart from being scrawnier. And now here's one thing, and I just don't see it, but people say that he looks like Jace. Like, I do understand that they might have used like some assets to like make the animation faster and so on, but I sincerely don't see it. And on top of that, there are no kids in that area, so he can't be Jace. Now let's move on to the person he's fighting against, which is Trundle, right? And with Trundle, I have to say, compared to normal Trundle, this is fire. I like the boar hide and just like the belt buckle and just how he looks, and he literally just scowling at Darius, being like, "Man, I'm about to beat your ass." He's ready. He's ready, and I like him. He looks very nice. And there's only one thing that weirds me out, right? I searched for some reactions about this over the internet, on Twitter, on other places, and then also on Reddit and so. And I realized that there are edits of his splash arts that could rival Venom's 12 inches on Marvel Rivals. Let's just move on and not stay on Trundle and move on to the next person, which is Katarina. And now with Katarina, I have to say, I very much like this. The reasoning for me liking this very much is one thing, because League kind of, when it comes to designs, had a problem with the like characters having specific face, like having like their own unique faces, and then in skins and other things it just all blended together, and then at the end you just have this meme where they have one thing that makes you realize who it is, like their hair or what they're wearing, or like a specific thing that they're holding or so, that shows, oh yeah, this is actually that champ. But this time I can say Katarina looks distinct. She doesn't look like a random pretty girl number 50. She doesn't look like some Mobile Legends bang bang shit. She looks good. And I do know that there's a lot of people out there that still love the old Katarina, but I love this. And here's another thing. Maybe this is just because people only watched Arcane and only know about Arcane, but like, where the hell do you see Caitlyn? Like, there was one person that said Caitlyn when they saw the red hair under the mask. Huh? So now is any type of hair, any type of woman suddenly is just Caitlyn? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I don't see Caitlyn. If you want to convince me that that's Caitlyn, then show me something like an edit or something like where you just overlap both of them, because I do not see Caitlyn. So let's just move to her combatant, which is Elise, the Spider Woman. And hear me out. I mean, it's not really that controversial, but would. Like, I don't like spiders, okay? If I see a spider in my room, I don't have a room. Even if I had a wife and kids, if I saw a spider in my house, I don't got a wife and kids and my house is burning. You could put my house in a I'm sorry for that joke. Like, truthfully, just look at this. Just look at her, okay? And the way she came out of that hiding spot was creepy, but freaky as well. I don't know. I just like that. And like, look again. Just look again. it's not that controversial. Elise is nice, okay? I hate spiders, but Elise made me change my mind, okay? So let's just move on. Let's just move on to Vladimir, right? Yes, you can see LeBlanc in this picture, but I just wanted to have a closer up of his face. Now, Vlad, his model in League of Legends looks horrendous, and I'm not going to burn your eyes by showing it to you, but you can just Google it yourself and kill your curiosity as well as your eyeballs. But at least this time, he actually looks fire. His outfit is nice. He himself looks like somebody who would use blood magic to age himself down, and his voice apparently is similar to Asterion from Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know because I've never played it, but I've seen some YouTube shorts, and I do understand it. At last person, right, we have the famous VGU that's going to come this season, and that is obviously the lady in the shadows of the Black Rose, LeBlanc. Now, with LeBlanc, I also have to say the same thing as I did with Katarina. I am happy that she's not just random pretty lady number 50, because if she was random pretty lady number 50, it's just not that cool, okay? Now, another person also looked at her and said, Caitlyn, I don't effing get it. It doesn't make sense. But putting that aside, I very much love, if you look at her fingers are black, right? Well, while she's in her, shrouded form, like cloaked form, her fingers are the only thing that are not black. So this is just like the inverted version of it, and I really love it. And also like the fact that she just looks a little much older, a little bit old. Like usually in League or LOR, she looks like maximum mid-20s, whereas here she looks like 30. I mean, it's not that far away, but still, it's at least representation for older women in League. And no, I mean, we truly need that sometimes. But yeah, she is definitely slaying, and a lot of people do believe that as well, because you could just look into the comments and you would see a lot of people saying mommy. But the only great thing wasn't just the animation, because there's more. And the other thing that is great, which Fortiche was always good at making, right? And this time it was in their forte, it was in a music video. These guys started with music videos, so obviously this was just going to be crazy good. And it was the fights. And the first fight that I want to talk about of the 3 fights is the Kata and Elise fight. And I very much like how they did show abilities that these champs have in the game as well. And artistically, just like we've said before with every other Fortiche thing, every Arcane thing, is you could take a screenshot and that thing is beautiful. And this one, for example, is beautiful. And yeah, that random dude, I still haven't figured out who he is, and I'm not trying to. If you want to know who that is, ask Necrit. I don't. But yeah, I really loved the fight. I really loved how, even after she got thwarted at her first attempt, she still kept on going, and I mean Katarina, and Katarina still ended up getting the deed done. She ended up still getting her target, which doesn't really bode well for Elise as a bodyguard, because you're supposed to be on the side of the person you're protecting, not opposite of them. But hey, Elise can't do no wrong, because I would. Elise, you're the one spider that I'd gladly jump into your web. To the next fight, right? The next fight is the Darius and Trundle fight, right? And that fight, I love the fact that they showed how True Ice works. Because for those people that don't know, True Ice is the thing that Trundle was holding in his hand. That was Trundle's club. And only Iceborne of the Freljord can hold True Ice without dying. Everybody else that touches it, I guess now that we could see it in the cinematic, slowly freezes and dies. Whereas Iceborne, they don't die, but it only hurts. Not much better, but at least they're alive. And I love how they show that Darius couldn't hold the axe the first time, and it took him a lot of power to hold it the second time to not get... No, I'm not gonna say that now because I wanted to say that later. But yeah, to save his life. Now, what I liked about this fight was how they cut out the music for the crazy brawl. And at the same time, sadly, because of all of the memes that came from Arcane, all of my fellow, I didn't want to just frame you guys here, from all my fellow Arcane fans, this scene started to look a little frisky for me as well, okay? I gotta admit, I did think for like 2 seconds, hold on, what are you trying to do there? But then I was like, no, never mind. Don't think that. It's just this conditioning that I've gotten from Arcane fans, my fellow fans, that anything like that is obviously has a frisky meaning. No. It's just two people fighting, nothing more. And then Toronto tries to rip his head off, which was bold. Like, he could have just knocked him out, but the attempt was there. The attempt was truly there. I do have to say, some people as well as me kind of were hoping that he did go through with it, but the same way as with them just copping out on Yasuo's death, they wouldn't have done that. They probably would have said, oh no, that was another vision. So Darius is not dead, and then he was able to ult at the end and still won, which is surprising because this usually would not go out this way. And even so, Darius, being young Darius, also shouldn't have won, but hey, storytelling. But yeah, that was actually my presentation, because the third fight, or semi-fight, which was Mel's whole vision thingy, didn't really interest me, okay? It was just another, showing how overpowered she is and so on, which people are now saying since she's hit the PBE. But, for me, it was like a non-factor, like, oh my gosh, wow, she's doing more of the magic-y stuff she's done before in Arcane. It's not like that crazy. But yeah, this just leaves me with one question. And that question is, where? Where is Arcane Welcome to Noxus? Like, you can't just drop a Season 1 cinematic, which has 124 million or 125 million views after 4 days, when the previous cinematic of last year has 130-ish after a year. Like, this is some KDA level shit, right? And not expect people to want Arcane. Like, I know you want people to just hop into the game, that rhymed, and play it, but we're doing our utmost best to stop it from happening, because we know once you get in, it's addicting and it's not good for your mental health. And yes, I'm addicted to League. That's just how it is, and I've accepted it. But I'm trying to stop other people from doing that. Putting that aside, I also am just wondering where it is and hoping that it will be sooner than later, as in minimum a year, because I do want them to cook, because the way they did the post-credit scene just teased so much story, and like motion comics and other things are just not enough. Like, yes, now I know that the thing that Vladimir was thinking was too much was most likely Arcane, but that doesn't change the fact that I haven't seen it animated by Fortige in a Netflix show. So yeah, that was my presentation about Arcane, Welcome to Noxus, and how you should still not play League of Legends. If you liked it, leave a like and subscribe, and thanks for tuning in, and I'll say bye.